Everybody right now is telling you to automate everything. And here's the part that nobody tells you. When you automate something that's already broken, it doesn't slow you down, it breaks faster. It just runs broken at full speed all day on a schedule. Here's the thing that nobody says out loud. Automation doesn't fix anything, it amplifies. Point it at something that works and it makes that thing bigger. Point it at something that's broken and you get broken faster and everywhere at once. And you won't even see it happen. Because a business on autopilot and a business falling apart on autopilot look exactly the same. Same clean dashboard, same message going out right on time. From the outside, you can't tell which one is which. One of them is working, the other one is quietly losing people you never even know you lost. And automation is the thing that's hiding it. Now, I'm not against any of this. I build these systems for a living. I use them every day. And I'm not telling you that to flex. I'm telling you because it's the reason I keep seeing the same thing break in business after business. The systems aren't the problem, it's where people put them. And it always starts the same exact way. Somebody builds a follow-up, some kind of message that goes out when a person reaches out to them. They spend a weekend on it, get it all running, and then they don't touch it for weeks because it looks like it's working. Then one day you actually read what's going on, and every single person is getting the same flat message. Doesn't matter what they asked, doesn't matter where they came in. The person who came in with a real specific question gets the same canned reply as everyone else. Somebody who's ready to buy today, they don't need another email in 3 days. They need a person. They don't get one. And somebody who isn't close at all gets pushed, and pushing them just makes them leave faster. The machine can't feel any of that. It just runs the schedule. And the person on the other end feels it too. They can tell when they're being processed instead of helped. And the second it feels automated, the trust is gone, and you don't get a second shot at it. 1 month in one pipeline, I watched at least 3 people who were ready to buy get pushed right out the door by a system that treated everybody the same. And that's just in 1 month. If you run that same broken process all year and you're not losing 3 people, you're losing 3 a month, every month, and calling it a slow quarter. And nobody knew it was happening because the system was still running and everything looked fine. And here's the thing, this isn't a few bad operators, it's almost everybody, and the numbers back it up. The adoption of AI in small businesses doubled in 2 years. More than half are using it right now. But in that same window, 42% of companies abandoned most of their AI projects. And when MIT measured what actually made it to production, 95% of the pilots failed. But here's the part that matters, the tools worked. That was never the problem. We keep pointing working tools at broken foundations. The projects don't fail because of the automation, they fail because of the stuff that's underneath it. A process nobody ever defined, steps nobody ever tested by hand before handing them off to a machine. And the machine never tells you it's wrong. It does the broken thing perfectly, on time, every time with total confidence. A person would have hesitated, felt that something was off. The machine just runs. And here's what makes this so hard to catch. When a person runs a broken process, it's messy, it's slow, things don't connect, and sooner or later somebody notices, somebody's gonna say something. But hand that same exact broken process to a machine and it runs clean, messages go out on time, the sequence fires, everything looks right. So the problem doesn't get fixed, it just disappears because nobody can even see it. And it keeps happening for a reason, because building the system feels like solving the problem. You spend a weekend wiring it up, you hit go, your brain gives you that little hit, done, handled, next. But going back and doing it by hand gives you none of that. There's no screenshot for sitting down, talking to every lead yourself, and finding out the process was entirely wrong. So what happens is we reach for the tool every time. We build the next thing, automate the next step, and the real work, talking to people, figuring out who needs what, feeling where it breaks, just sits there because it's uncomfortable and there's nothing to show for it when you're done. Meanwhile, the tool is right there on your screen, and that's the trap. From the inside, the thing helping you and the thing hiding the problem look exactly the same. So here's the thing that I keep coming back to, and it's the opposite of what everybody's selling you. Automate nothing until you run it by hand long enough to know it actually works. That's the step that almost everybody skips. And here's the test before you build a single thing. Try to draw it, every step, every decision, every handoff. If you can't draw it on one page, you don't understand it well enough to hand it to the machine yet. When I rebuild a follow-up like this, I shut the automation off completely and work every lead by hand for weeks. In the first few days, it feels like going backwards. You're sitting there doing work you built a machine to do. Every part of you wants to flip it back on. But by the second week, you start seeing things that no tool could ever catch. Somebody comes in asking about one thing, and once you talk to them, it's clear that they need something completely different. Somebody else, you can hear it in how they ask. They're ready, they just aren't saying it out loud. And the one who went quiet isn't gone. They're comparing you to somebody else and waiting. None of that is stuff you can program. That's stuff you only learn by doing it enough times. So you start keeping track of patterns. Somebody reaching out on a weekend means something different than somebody reaching out in the middle of a workday. A specific question about price means they're in a different place than somebody just asking how it works. After enough conversations, you can feel it when somebody's about to go cold. Not from a dashboard, from having talked to enough people to know what that moment sounds like right before they go quiet. And by the end, you know two things you didn't know before. You know what it sounds like when somebody's actually ready versus just looking. And you know the exact moment the machine should stop and a real person should step in. You'll get both of these wrong a few times before you get them right. And that's the part of it. Now you turn the automation back on. It's the same tool, same setup. Nothing about the technology changed. And the results aren't even close because you're not automating a guess anymore. You're automating something you already know works. Now the system can actually sort people. The ready ones get to a real person fast, and the ones who are just looking get a slower path, and the ones in the middle get time instead of pressure. It isn't smarter technology, it's a better foundation. And this is the part where most people get backwards by AI. The better these tools get, the agents, the models, whatever's next, the more they reward the person who already knows their process cold. A great tool pointed at a proven process is a multiplier. That same tool pointed at a guess just runs the guess faster. The tool got smarter, it didn't get judgment. That part's still on you. That's the whole difference. A system that scales is just a process you prove by hand, then hand it to a machine after. A weekend project is a guess you never tested running on autopilot. Same kind of tool, the gap between those two is everything. And there's one more thing that changes once the foundation is right. The problems don't stop. They still come up, but now you can actually see them. When the thing underneath works and something breaks, it sticks out. It doesn't blend in. Before, when the foundation was broken, fine and broken looked the same. You couldn't tell a real problem from a small one. Everything felt urgent. Everything felt like it needed you. Now when something breaks, you catch it right away because everything around it is working. That's the whole goal. You check in and the business already did what it was supposed to do. Here's how you know you actually got there. You walk away from it for 2 weeks and you come back to it running cleaner than you left it. Not on fire, not a pile of things waiting on you, just running. That's the system you built. The other version isn't a business, it's a job that follows you on vacation. And the machine isn't covering for something broken, it's running something that already works. So here's how I think about automation. It's not the first thing you do, it's the last. It's what you do after you run it by hand, felt where it breaks, and figured out who needs what and when a person has to step in. And before you automate anything, there's an even smaller question to ask first. Should this step even exist? Most broken processes are full of steps nobody actually needs. Steps that got added one busy week and just never got removed. Automating one of these is the worst move there is. Now you're paying a machine to do something that shouldn't even be happening at all. So you cut first, then you ask the real question. Can a person do this right now and get a good result every single time? If yes, automate it. The machine just does what the person does faster. And be honest about which part you're automating. The repetitive, same every time stuff, that's what the machine is for. The judgment calls, the conversations, the moment that somebody needs to feel heard, that stays human. The mistake is handing the machine the part that was never supposed to be automated. If no, leave it alone. Do the work first. Get it wrong a few times. Find out what actually moves the number, not what looks like it's working. Then let the machine run it. Everybody's out here saying automate everything. I'm just saying know what you're automating because the tool doesn't care if it's right. It runs whatever you give it. A business on autopilot and a business crashing on autopilot looks exactly the same. The only difference is whether you proved it first. That's the mistake that nobody talks about.